you willing to go the distance? You better start training those thumbs, because Punch-Out on the NES is going to give them a beating. But before we get started, wise up and hit the books! Here's a brief bit of history for you. Punch-Out and Super Punch-Out were arcade games released by Nintendo in 1983 and 1984, respectively. They were colorful, challenging, and very fun boxing simulators that made you feel like you really were a green wireframe guy. These games focused strongly on pattern recognition and timing over brute strength. You couldn't just wail away on your opponent or you'd wear yourself out or get hurt yourself. You had to analyze your opponent's moves, find the opportune window, and let him have it. In 1987, Nintendo developed a version of Punch-Out for the NES, borrowing some elements and characters from the arcade games and basically refining the gameplay. They slapped Mike Tyson's face across it and called it Mike Tyson's Punch-Out because, hey, this was back when Mike Tyson was a semi-reputable human being. He could make Nintendo money! But when Nintendo's license to use Tyson's image expired, they decided to not renew it and replace him with the fictional Mr. Dream instead, changing the game's name simply to Punch-Out. A staple of the Punch-Out series has always been its out-of-touch, cringe-inducing characters, who are rife with ethnic slurs. The French guy is depicted as a lazy coward, the Spanish boxer is a pretty boy Casanova, the Japanese boxer is... well... what? One cool thing about these characters is that their entrance music reflects their nationality. So the French guy's music is La Marseillaise, the French national anthem. The Spanish guy's music is from the opera Carmen, which is set in Spain. And the Japanese guy's music is Sakura Sakura, a Japanese folk song. I bring this up because both of these factors, the cool entrance music and the game's unflinching political incorrectness, play a part in the character I want to discuss today, the Soviet Soda Popinski. Now on the surface, this seems harmless. It's a big goofy guy who likes to drink soda. Not the best message to send to the kids, but it's no worse than Yume Penguin Monogatari's message. However, if we look back at Super Punch-Out in the arcade, we'll see that this character was originally named Vodka Drunkensky. Now that is just plain rude. We'd like to think that this was changed for the NES version to avoid the ethnic stereotype, but more than likely it was because of Nintendo of America's strict censorship of sex, alcohol, and excessive violence at the time. If someone had suggested the name Cold War Funny Hatsky instead, Nintendo of America probably would have been fine with that too. The theme we hear for Soda Popinski might not be as immediately recognizable as some of the other tunes were. This one is a little more obscure. It's the Song of the Volga Boatmen, a Russian folk song dating back to at least the mid-19th century, but it's perhaps older than that. Boatmen hauling cargo up and down the Volga River would sing this and other songs like it to pass the time, and to show off their awesome skills of singing while remaining creepily motionless. The music in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was composed in a collaborative effort by Kenji Yamamoto, Akito Nagatsuka, and Yukio Kanaoka, who all have incredible video game music credits in their repertoire. Their decision to include themes that reflect the characters' nationalities is a clever one, and adds to the thematic unity and cuteness of the game overall, even if it is a little misguided. Oh, and for those of you who didn't recognize this song but are 80s rock fans, you might want to think again.